Welcome, guys, to this round table discussion between myself, Liam, owner of PH Nutrition. I've got Tom here, one of our coaches, and Lauren and Nick, and obviously you know those two. So today we're just going to talk through nutrition. We're going to introduce the new Sleven X and 24/7 programming, and we're going to hopefully give you a little bit of guidance in terms of returning back to the gym and getting the most out of it. So first things first, we're going to dive in. I'm going to show you our new product, the PH Hub. So I'm just going to share my screen here and kind of walk through what it is. So the PH Hub is basically a one-stop shop for all your nutrition needs. So we understand that not everybody needs nutrition coaching one-on-one, but everybody needs a little bit of guidance in terms of getting the most out of their training. And we know that we can all get lost down the Wikipedia rabbit hole or trying to find the correct advice. So we've kind of centralized everything to hopefully help you get the most out of all your training. So when you sign up to the hub, there's different kind of pathways you can follow. So you can follow a nutrition plan. So we have a fat loss and nutrition plan for you to follow. This is our diet setup. You get it for free. It's included in the membership. And this is a really customizable plan that you can follow to get short-term results, but it's something that is sustainable. So you can follow this, the fat loss plan. You get all of the diet setup, the diet templates, recipe packs, etc., etc. And you can obviously then switch between the strength and the fat loss ones over the year, depending on what your goals are. We've tried to make it really, really simple to kind of follow. So hopefully you can get the most out of it, regardless of what your goal is. But we also understand that nutrition is much more than just calories and macros. So we've got Q&A. So every month we host a live Q&A. We have different videos as well that we'll upload about specific topics that we kind of, get asked about. So this week we did one on Masters Nutrition, intermittent fasting, Q&As are specific to fat loss and for strength. We also have a really huge downloads library, again, to help you alongside a nutrition plan, or if you actually just kind of feel pretty good, you can just use these to supplement and enhance your education and knowledge. So lots of useful stuff, monthly recipe pack as well. So we just released a new snack book because we know that snacking is always an issue for everybody. So we've got loads of recipe packs, one that's released every single month. But we think that the real value of it as well is these PH nutrition courses. So again, we don't want to just be focusing on body composition. So yes, fat loss and strength are always a goal, and macros and calories are very, very important. But sometimes we want to get a little bit more specific. So we're building out these courses. So recovery, we've got habits on protein, on menstrual cycle, on mindful eating. So you can work through these either delivered via our coaching app or you work through them online. One that we've just been working on is the return to the gym program. And as you can see, really easily laid out for you to kind of follow. We've broken it down, giving you some really actionable points. So these courses are something that we are continually updating. So the transition phase and prep phase is where hopefully you guys will be at now that the gyms are reopened. But these are things that you can work through at your own pace. The PH Hub is only £10 a month. So we've tried to make it accessible for everybody, and hopefully it's going to be something that you can get some real value out. It's done by people that are actually doing doing the same things that you'll be doing, rather than just some Instagram influencer that's got an ebook that you have to kind of scroll through. We want to be able to get you in front of us and ask us questions. So this is where Tom's going to be available. He's going to be doing, specific Sleven Q&As. So if you sign up to the hub, you can get access to this special page just for Sleven members, where we're going to host specific members Q&As over the coming months, and you'll get access to this as well. But Tom, what kind of things are you working on at the moment that's going to be on the hub in the very near future?
At the minute, we're currently writing a program of how to transition to a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Something that's very popular. People have either been kind of dipping in and out of, or just want to know a bit more about it, but maybe don't have necessarily a bit of a structure and a plan to follow. So again, it kind of walks you through how to transition, whether you want to go full vegan or you just, like say, want to use it for 1 or 2 meals a day. Obviously, I did the Q&A with that as well, and we got some great feedback on that. Yeah. So that's something that we're working on at the moment. And like Liam said, we're working together with the other coaches as well. So we're able to draw on other experience from across the PH team. So we've got courses coming up about improving your gut health. We've got things about endurance nutrition as well. So yeah, lots of exciting things going on.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. And, from this is obviously, recovery specific. This is more kind of written for people that are doing kind of generalized CrossFit, functional fitness, like more endurance based, if you're doing a triathlon or marathon or whatever as well, alongside your current training. But we want to make things like super specific for Sleven members as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Nick, Lauren, do you want to jump in? Let us know what the new format looks like what things are people gonna be getting access to on the new Sleven fitness memberships.
Yeah, so it's a new day for Sleven. We relaunched our new brand, our new classes on Friday evening. And no doubt you've all seen our new class 24/7 and our new rebranded class called Sleven X. So just want to dive into what each of these are, how the memberships work, and how they're going to benefit you. So 24/7 is a continuation from our at-home programming and a lot of the work that we were doing already in the gym pre-lockdown. The classes are based on strength and conditioning, but less focused on skills and more focused on getting you strong and bulletproofing your body. So think of each class will be working on what we call successories, our newly trademarked training methodology where we incorporate functional bodybuilding into kind of circuits, designed to get you strong and fit. And then you have a nice little WOD afterwards, probably about 10 or 15 minutes, but each class will be different. Some days you'll focus purely on strength. Some days will have a little bit of a longer WOD. And then we have our Sleven X class. Our Sleven X class is going to be that one where you just take it to the X level. You're going to have handstand push-ups, snatching, clean and jerks, bar muscle-ups, pull-ups, all the fun stuff. So none of that stuff that you were doing in your CrossFit classes before has been taken away. If anything, it's kind of being augmented in this class. So you're going to be focusing a lot more on skill development and actually performance. So think about 24/7 as kind of developing strength and fitness, and then your Sleven X kind of expressing your fitness, expressing your skills, expressing what you can do with your body. And these two classes are going to go hand in hand. So the way we're going to work, best way for us to kind of get everyone back into the gym is to, especially with COVID, is to have one of these classes alternating per day. Obviously with kit requirements and everything, it's just going to be a lot easier for us to run it that way, but also give you a way to kind of tailor your training. So focusing on 24/7, building that base, building that strength foundation, and then your Sleven X kind of expressing it and learning the skills. So we'll be alternating our schedule day to day. Saturday, we start off with Sleven X. We're going big, we're going on the barbell. Next day, we're going to be doing some squatting with 24/7. And yeah, so where we're going to, this will be phase one. And then after that, we'll be, depending on how things go, we'll add all the kind of the strength classes back, gymnastics, metcons, Friday night lights, depending on basically how everything goes with COVID. It's just a bit up in the air at the moment, but this way we're going to get everyone back better, fitter, and stronger. All our classes are going to be limited to 10 people. So you have enhanced coaching, less people in the gym, and you basically have your own section with everything you need. You'll have your own handstand push-up board, high rings, 2 wall ball targets, pull-up bar, your own barbell, kettlebells, whatever it is that you're going to be needing for that class. You'll kind of have your own little workout section. So it's going to be a great experience when you're in the gym.
Fantastic, man. And obviously with the lesser amount of people, a little bit more attention from coaches, maybe a little bit more hands-on coaching, which would be really useful for people that do get on the Sleven X, correct?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, Loz is, I'll let Loz talk about this, but in the Sleven X classes, it's going to be just, especially on the day one, we know people are going to want to get back on that barbell. And, you know, I think on that first Saturday, we've got lots of barbell, right, Loz?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to give the people what they want. I've sort of got the feedback that it's barbell and rig, barbell and rig. I've seen people peer longingly into the gym, looking at that rig and looking at there. So, although it will be a little bit measured and controlled for a little bit, we're trying to get you back in there and trying to get you back into doing what you guys love.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. I mean, it looks great. What's in the programming for the next 10 days? It looks wicked. So, you know, getting back into the gym, you guys have said like, right, we're straight back into the barbell, we're straight back into the rig. We will go into a little bit, Tom's going to cover a little bit more specifics about, you know, fueling for those different classes, but kind of getting back into the gym from a nutrition point of view, you know, how do we approach this? Like for us, we've seen like, you know, a few people, well, most people are kind of fitting into a kind of different categories where maybe you've gained a little bit of weight in lockdown, maybe that you've lost a bit of size and strength, maybe simply just not having the equipment or whatever. But actually some people have been feeling fitter, you know, maybe they've added in extra volume to their training. So actually people are going to be approaching it from kind of 3 different ways. The primary thing I want people to focus on is to try not to do everything in the first 2 weeks. It's kind of like January where, you know, we all come back after Christmas, we just go crazy and, you know, we want to, you know, lose 5 kilos in the first week and we want to, you know, get back to snatching our previous, 1RM. But it is just about transitioning back. And from a nutrition point of view, like Tom, what kind of things, maybe just that everybody, before we go into the specifics, what kind of things do we want people to maybe be focusing on from an overall point of view?
From an overall point of view, I think, like we said, obviously you've got that primary goal, and obviously we've then got to balance it with just overall maybe training load as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be very easy to kind of just book onto every class, you know, and it's like, right, green light, go, I can book onto everything. And then, you know, like 3 or 4 or 5 days in and suddenly, you know, you're maybe experiencing, you know, muscle soreness, DOMS, and maybe you're used to training regularly, but not either at that load or potentially at that intensity. So just be mindful, you know, with the number of sessions you're doing that you were doing before lockdown. If you were training 5 times a week, maybe just aim for 1 less, maybe 4 times a week, and then slowly build it up from there. In terms of some simple nutritional things, big thing I think is important is like minimizing fasted training. So making sure we're going into a session, you know, well fueled, ready to work hard and ready to perform really well. Obviously, if we're training very first thing in the morning, that's a little bit tricky, but you can, you know, sign up to the hub and have a look at the chat that me and Chris did about, you know, early morning training and some advice on there as well. But it's just going to give you the opportunity to go into a session in a performed state. And then throughout the rest of the day, you know, breakfast, lunch and dinner, a good quality source of protein at every meal. Nice, simple habit that we can all have a go at. It's going to, you know, help improve your recovery, your muscle soreness. It's also going to help you feel a little bit kind of fuller as well throughout the day. You may find that if your training load goes up, you may start to feel kind of more hungry throughout the day. So protein is going to keep you satiated between your meals as well.
Yeah, perfect, mate. I think, you know, those 2 things are definitely integrated into our return to the gym program that we've written. And we're not saying that fasted training is a bad thing. We're just saying, you know, this is definitely something that we encourage people to do throughout the normal year, normal training block. However, at this period in time, that when you're first transitioning back, as Tom said, this is something that we want to be helping support our performance and our recovery, because it's going to be a new stimulus, you know. So we want to be thinking about reducing muscle soreness, which we'll cover it towards the end. So at this moment in time, minimizing fasted training to provide your body with circulating fuel and around your workouts is so crucial, guys. So like I say, we've got some loads of information. We've got a timing of training course on there as well about morning training, Tom's talk as well. But it just helps provide your body with that little bit of fuel. And as Tom said, protein intake, you need to repair. We're going to be breaking down muscle tissue here, you know, regardless of what class you're in, whether it's Sleven X or whether it's, you know, 24/7. Like as Nick said, there's like pure strength days where there are some more eccentric movements in there, which are going to cause a little bit more muscle damage. but it's also a novel stimulus. There's more intensity, there's more volume. So we need to be, from a nutrition point of view, like you said, trying to support that fueling around the workouts, but maintaining a consistent protein intake for everybody. And that's if you're trying to lose body fat, if you're trying to support your performance, if you're trying to get stronger, it doesn't matter. Like if you can do those couple of things, it's going to really, really help you kind of transition back in an effective way. One of the things that you touched on there, Tom, was about kind of like being mindful of the load spike, like you're not going in and just trying to do everything. You know, we talk about minimum effective dose, like trying to maybe, like say, just not go back in and do your 6 days a week training that you were doing beforehand. And maybe, like say, taking an extra rest day or whatever. But if we're going back into the gym and we're maybe training 3-4 times a week, and on that day, like there's a specific session. So like the Saturday is a lot of barbell snatching, you know, and it's, I think it's what's the programming, Loz, on the first Saturday? It's like snatches and
there's snatching in the skill,
and then like a handstand snatch AMRAP as well, and
yeah,
like, you know, alternating lunges and pull-ups. So it's like, yeah, full body movements that we haven't probably done for a long time. You know, like Tom's, you kind of touched on it there, but if we were going to fall into a one that's more gymnastics focused or more weightlifting focused, are there any specifics that we want to be focusing on, T, like between Sleven X or 24/7? Is there anything that you want to touch on there for the guys?
Yeah, what we tend to see, and you probably you guys will see it as well as coaches, particularly I find with gymnastics, is that obviously people can get frustrated because they hit fatigue quite quickly. You know, we tend to use a lot of smaller muscle groups, and because there's like a skill element, there's quite a lot of concentration factor. You know, when you're trying to link like multiple reps together with handstand push-ups or pull-ups or muscle-ups, and you've got little muscle groups that fatigue, and like say you've got you know, little muscle groups that like what I say, wind down very quickly. So yeah, making sure that we're well fueled going into that session, whether we've had a snack maybe 1 to 2 hours before, or a meal 2 to 3 hours before. But even, you know, having, you know, maybe something with you to drink throughout your training, just to keep a little bit of energy going throughout. I think with weightlifting, again, we want to make sure that you know, we've got enough fuel in the tank. But obviously being mindful that we're not going to be pushing for you know, 1 rep maxes and stuff, but we're still going to be, you know, putting our body under, you know, eccentric load, concentric movements as well. So again, we could fatigue quite quickly going through those sessions, going through those reps, and then, you know, we feel like maybe we're not getting the most out of the session if we're not able to hit all the reps or all the percentages, etc. So yeah, making sure that we're well fueled beforehand, and potentially having, you know, some form of water, or maybe with like something like a little bit of fruit juice, a little bit of coconut water perhaps, to have, you know, during a session. Electrolyte tablets could be good, just to kind of give you a little top up without too much. You know, you're not taking on 3 bananas during a workout, you know what I mean, but just a little bit of something to keep you guys going.
Yeah, perfect. And this goes for, if you're going light, you know, maybe you're going back in and focusing on more technique, or maybe even you're still quite new to these movements. You've got to understand that the body's, you know, the brain's primary fuel is glucose. The primary energy systems that we're going to be using, especially in weightlifting, are like our short and sharp ones. So like our alactic and our anaerobic systems. And these run on carbohydrates more than they would run on kind of body fat or stored fat. So when Tom's saying be fueled, we want to be thinking about using those tips there where you are providing your body with circulating carbohydrates and glucose. I think that's so important, that I think people can go and go, oh, it's only light, it's only technique work, I don't need to necessarily fuel for this. Whereas actually when we're going back in, it's quite mentally taxing. And if you're under fueled for that, or, you know, you're going into it dehydrated as well, it's such a crucial thing. It has an impact on your performance. And when we're trying to do weightlifting, the goal is to perform better, to get better technique wise, to put more weight on the bar. So regardless if you're going back in and chucking weight back on the bar, or whether you're going light and focusing on technique, using those tips there where Tom said put something liquid based can be coconut water, fruit juice, a smoothie, shake, or whatever, or carbohydrate powder, or have a small snack such as dates or a little bit of fruit, dried fruit. We use a lot kind of pre-workouts, especially if you're morning training, to provide your body with that little bit of fuel. And I think then it's about that distribution over the day. So people would be saying to me, well, I want to lose body fat. I'm not working that out that hard. Like, it's the overall calorie balance in the day, in the week, that's gonna help you lose those lockdown love handles. So we want to be fueling around your workouts. That's such a crucial thing, especially in the first kind of 2 to 3 weeks. And that's a really important point. Like, so just on that, like, guys, have you got like, we spoke about kind of putting people into specific categories, like maybe someone's put on a little bit of weight, maybe lost a bit of size and strength, or actually kind of feeling a bit fitter and kind of raring to go. Lauren, I think you've got a couple of maybe examples what you've seen from members that you can kind of talk through to kind of give people a bit of context.
Yeah, so obviously you know that we've been running the outdoor Metcon classes for the last few weeks now, and over the last few weeks we've seen people come back into the gym more and more as the weeks kind of progress. And like you said, we kind of are seeing a quite a distinct pattern between what people have kind of done during lockdown. And so what we've kind of done is, like you guys have done as well with the nutrition, we've kind of thought about the programming for one, and number two, about, depending on where you fit, how to kind of structure your first few weeks training back into the gym as well. Okay, so the kind of the trends that we're seeing, we've kind of seen people who have done really not much for the last 4 months or so. So for that, we kind of recommend that you start with our 24/7, start with that bulletproofing and start building up from there. Okay, so first 24/7 session back is tempo squats. Okay, so we're talking about keeping time under tension for one, which is great for rebuilding any muscle that you've kind of lost, and two, just kind of reinforcing the mechanics that you may not have, you haven't been practicing regularly, during our lockdown time. Number two, we've kind of seen people who have been doing some running, some of our at home, like 24/7, kind of 3 or 4 times a week. So if you kind of fall into that category, we're kind of saying, okay, maybe 3 or 4 times of 24/7, and then a Sleven X class in there, in the mix in there, just to get that technique happening again. Okay, so Tuesday is a great example of that. Is bench press and gorilla rows. Okay, so we're focusing on that unilateral upper back strength, which comes in handy in 24/7. Okay, we're rebuilding our shoulders, rebuilding our lats, comes in handy for pull-ups, for our clean and jerks, for our snatches, anything like that. And also for our toe to bar and all those sort of movements as well. So Nick, why do you think it's kind of important? So we've got all these skills happening again. Why do you think it's important to add in a skill session really into your training?
Well, I think you just approach it with really low intensity and just really focusing on that skill. So with snatching, empty bar, it's a global movement. You're kind of combining lots of things, so it's just requires a lot of coordination. So really thinking about, like Lauren said, just focusing on building that strength on 24/7, and then going on to the snatching, where say on Saturday might be your first day back, empty bar, just really work on that, getting that movement pattern back, and just really thinking about kind of how to put everything together again. With the pull-ups, you could easily scale those down to ring rows or something if you just wanted to make it a little bit less skillful. But if you did have kipping or butterfly pull-ups before, we've put a low amount of reps in there, so you can just kind of maybe do 2 sets of 4, or just do a less amount, so you can start to get your way back into it. I think going crazy at the beginning is not going to be helpful, so definitely take those first Sleven X days as really just a skill focused session.
Yeah, fantastic. And so just to continue kind of on from what the other kind of trends that we're seeing and kind of what we're recommending training wise as well. We've got people who have been kind of doing running and a bit of Sleven 24/7 at home. Then we've got those people who have been doing at home, they're 24/7, they've come back, they've been doing Metcons. So kind of if that's you, if you're coming, you know, regularly back to our Metcon classes 3, 4, 5 times a week, you know, you could almost do a general, like a sort of almost a 50-50 mix of 24/7 and Sleven X. You know, starting with that skill, starting with that technique, and kind of building up as you start to get used to being back into the gym. And then we've also, like you said too, we've got those people who have gone absolutely nuts with their training. Have got an at-home gym. They've been able to do this and that. Basically, if anything, train more than what they're doing before. Yeah. You know, in that case, kind of just straight back in. You know, you've obviously been missing rigs and things like that, but you know, you may have been to a park. You're still getting those movement patterns. So
yeah,
you know, dive back in.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you know, there's something called the repeated bout effect, and where it's basically, we've all done it where we have a little bit of a break, we come back in and we've done movements that we're maybe not used to, and we get really sore, like our muscles and tendons are really sore for a couple of days. But actually, the more that you kind of get into it, the muscle soreness eases, and you don't necessarily get so sore after doing these sessions. Like, that's so important what you guys talked about there, like that transition of slowly getting back into maybe doing movements that you've been doing in lockdown with a higher intensity, and ones that you're maybe not accustomed to is the ones that you maybe need to just back off a little bit, like snatching and bar muscle ups. You haven't really done them, so maybe kind of work off a lower percentage or kind of ease back into it. But I'm sure you guys will be coaching people in, you know, easily. It's just you know, and navigating the barbell and the rigs, because it is going to be an exciting time. And we're not you know, we're not being like the headmaster of like, you must do this and not enjoy yourself and no running and, you know, like the swimming pool lifeguard. But it is just about making sure that you don't just train for one day and then have 5 days of soreness where you can't move or walk or, you know, dread the stairs. So that's a really, really important thing. And look, we're here to kind of help guide you, you know, me and Tom, definitely from a nutrition point of view. And I think when we talk about muscle soreness, we can get hung up on like the kind of finer details of, like, you know, people will just want to be like, oh, just eat cherries and turmeric and you'll be absolutely fine. And actually, you know, there's a few kind of real kind of key points. Like, you know, one, I think Tom is like, kind of talked about there, is like nutrient timing. Like, Tom, you got any kind of like real nuggets of information here just to try and wrap things up for the guys about muscle soreness?
Yeah, and I think with muscle soreness, I think like it links into what we've been talking about. You know, one meal or one nutrient isn't going to move the needle in terms of, you know, one salad isn't going to make you thin, one burger's not going to make you fat, and, you know, one workout isn't going to change everything. It's, you know, it's all about context, isn't it? So it's what the rest of your diet looks like. It's what the rest of your training week, month, the next 3-6 months is going to look like. And, you know, we just kind of have to go through the motions and be a little bit patient with it all. And yeah, we are more likely now to experience, you know, some muscle soreness. And like I say, sometimes it's very easy to kind of look for the quick fix or look for something that, again, like Google or Instagram or whatever, rather than just, you know, like nailing some basics. So, you know, think about, you know, the overall quality of your diet, you know, what you eat across every day and every week. And try and increase the quality, because often we see people maybe start taking a supplement, or they start, you know, adding, like, say, turmeric or like a recovery drink and things like that. But actually, maybe their diet's still full of maybe some kind of higher inflammatory foods. So your body's under stress from training, and you're trying to get it to, you know, to reduce inflammation, but actually you've got these kind of like omega-6 bombs. You know, we've got, you know, refined sugar, we've got, you know, deep fried food, you know, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times a week or something. So yeah, just reducing the dose of that down to a more manageable state and increasing the quality of your diet. You know, we talk about eating 3 colors at every meal, which is a really great kind of thing to get yourself thinking about, just to try and, like, say, reduce that overall kind of, you know, DOM effect. If everything else is in line, you know, so we've reduced high inflammation foods, we've, you know, increased nutrient dense foods, then we could always look at a supplement as a supplement to what you're already doing. Yeah, exactly that. Just to kind of go on to that here, like in our program on the Hub, we talk about DOMs and what is muscle soreness, what actually causes it, you know, and how to deal with it, like why we get it. And if you understand why and approach it like the guys like Lauren and Nick said about, we can manage it in an effective way. You probably will feel it
more sore at the start, but like you say, we talk about the importance of veg and phytonutrients and polyphenols in here, and we do talk about supplementation. So we, touch on inflammation as well. So this is why we're kind of pushing the hub a little bit, because it's just condensing things into one simple place that allows you to get, the answers to the questions and help you maximize your training, guys. So, in terms of signing up for the hub, like we have it on our site, so you can just pop over the PH hub here, just get access. You get access straight away. You can also go over to the lovely looking new Sleven Fitness website, and you can sign up here. And then, like I say, going forward, guys, we are going to be doing a lot of specific stuff for Sleven, and really kind of helping you guys get back into things. So thank you so much for listening. Nick, Lauren, Tom, you got anything else you want to hit me with before we wrap up?
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy being back in the gym with the community. You guys have got a great coaching team on hand to support you. Me and Liam will be back in the gym soon. Just enjoy it. Looking forward.
I'm scared of the barbell. I don't even want to see it. I'll definitely go and light. I would definitely go.
Where's that PVC pipe?
Yeah, give me that, mate. That'll give me DOMs. Even doing that.
Yeah, we're just super stoked to get back. I mean, the Metcons have been fun, but now it's time to get back into the gym. And we have a fantastic program for you guys. Great team, great programs. Just let's go. We're ready.
Excited. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Thanks for listening, guys. It's been superb. Yeah, and we'll see you very soon in the gym.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.